Hello everyone, my name is Dylan Babcock and I currently reside in Topeka, Kansas as I attend Washburn University. My hometown is the small rural town of Lincoln, Kansas. So I started following the Pete Buttigieg campaign back when it was still in the exploratory phase. I believe I stumbled across a post on social media about it, so I looked further into it just because politics interests me and I like to keep up with what's going on in the political world just because it interests me. And I looked further into his platforms and his stances on issues, and I just really fell in love with it. I loved his moderacy, yet his progressive stances on many items, his want to bring people together in such this divided state of nation that we're in right now. And I just think that he's overall such an intelligent and humble guy. So when it came to when he actually fully launched his campaign, I knew that he was going to be the guy who I would want to support in the 2020 election. When it comes to picking a favorite policy of Pete's, that's definitely really difficult for me just because I support many of his policies and his stances on items. But when it comes down to having to pick my favorites, I would have to say they are improving the K-12 education system and making college more affordable. First of all, education is just something that I highly value. My mom is an educator at the local elementary school back home, and my grandfather was also an educator, and some of the people who I've looked up to most in life have been my educators. So education to me is just something that's really important to me in my life, and so that's why I really support his want to improve the K-12 public education system, especially expanding Title I funding. My mom happens to be a Title I teacher currently, and so I think that making those schools have more funding will make it more equitable in the public education system, regardless of your zip code, race, or background. And I just think that's overall really great. And I love his want to improve the mental health system in public schools. That's something that is really, really needed. And I like how he just wants to overall bring more respect and bring more funding back to the public schools, just because that's so important, because I believe that our public education system has such a lack of respect for teachers in general, and it just doesn't get the funding that it deserves. As for making college more affordable, which is a part of Pete's The American Opportunity Agenda, I really support this as I am a college student. I just finished up my second semester of my sophomore year, going into my first semester of my junior year next semester, the spring semester. And I have already taken out $12,000 in federal loans, unsubsidized and subsidized. Luckily, I haven't had to take out more than that thanks to scholarships and such. But I do believe that by the end of my college career that I will probably have around $30,000 in debt, and that obviously is scary. So I love Pete's want to make college more affordable for families who make an income up to $150,000 a year. I also like that he wants to expand the federal Pell Grant system. I think both of those things together would make such a huge difference in the amount of people who can afford college and attend college. And I also love his thoughts on making the FAFSA process more easier and making it easier to pay back loans for people who are struggling. I think that's really important as we move forward in the future. And I also love his want to invest in HBCUs, tribal schools, and other minority schools. I think that's really important this day and age. We need to focus more on diversity, and so I really support that aspect of his. My name is Dylan Babcock, and I support Pete Buttigieg for president.